these two articles helped me to in understanding the plate tectonics even further, and then extend my theory. The first is basically saying that there's an indication to the start of plate tectonics around 2800 million years ago. So that's when, even though Earth formed in 4400 million years ago, there was not much paleomagnetic data, but only the paleomagnetic data happens to be more around only from that point onwards. Before that, very negligible amount of magnetic data recorded in the rocks. And then the second article is, it's basically says formation and interchange of megablobs and megatroughs in the mantle to drive the plate tectonics. So what it says is there are two megablobs on the one side and megatroughs on the other side. So one of the blob is under one of the supercontinent, and then it breaks up, continents disperse toward the troughs, and then they interchange. The trough becomes blob, and blobs becomes troughs, and then push back the continents back to the form the supercontinents. So that's how this theory presented, and then I took it as a basis and then extended the theory. So what is the origination of the plate tectonics? So Earth is divided into core, mantle, and crust. This is how it was started 4400 million years ago. So at some point, the inner core started to form. The inner core didn't start right immediately when Earth formed around 4400 million years ago. So inner core is started around only 2800 million years ago. So that's what I call the start of the plate tectonics, because the Earth started to cool as part of the plate tectonics. So when the inner mantle cools, the solidification of the nucleation of the inner core happens. Started with the nucleation of the inner core. So when you cool the interior, so that extends. The mantle cools, and then outer core cools, and then so it goes when the core cools down, and then it gets solidified inside the at the center of the Earth. So that inner core was a point around 2800 million years ago when the start of the plate tectonics. As it progressed, the Earth started cooling, the inner core started to grow. So the growth of the inner core started only around 2800 million years ago. And plate tectonics is the process of cooling the interior of the Earth. That's what it is. So as it started cooling, it's moving the plates around, and new crust gets created, and then because that brings the heat from inside to the outside the Earth, and then it cools down. As it cools down, it's extracting the heat from the inside the Earth, and then that is basically coming from the solidification of the inner core. So that is the start of the plate tectonics, and then what is the cause of the plate tectonics? The cause is as I explained in earlier. So in that article, megablobs and troughs, and you can look at the so that is the outer layer. This is the crust, and then yellow is mantle, outer core, inner core, and these are the blobs. These two megablobs, and then these are megatroughs. Blue is the megatrough, and the brown is the blob. And basically, blob is a bulge on the surface of the Earth. It's supposed to be bit more on this side and bit less on this side. So when mm, when so content when the blobs, this is where the supercontinent forms in one of the under on top of one of the mega blobs, and then when mega blobs form and breaks the supercontinent, so continents gets dispersed towards the troughs, either this way and some this way, and then for this happens until 200 million years, and then they get interchanged. So blobs becomes troughs and troughs become blobs. They interchange. So these are the blobs now blobs is mega plumes, super volcanoes, or something like you can call that. That's what it is. And then when this interchange, they push back the continents back to form a supercontinent. So that's what it is. So mega blobs, when one instance of megablobs breaks the supercontinent and disperses the continents, and then another instance of megablobs, the interchanged ones, and they push back the continents and then form another supercontinent. So why that is almost like Earth is breathing like it's mega blobs forming and then interchanging with the troughs and then alternating mega blobs. It's not just like Earth just doesn't choose to have a mega blobs. There has to be some cause behind it. So in my theory, what I proposed is, so while its solar system is revolving around the galactic center, that's what described as Vishnu Nabi in ancient Indian texts. So what happens is, um, one revolution, the mega blobs push the continents to the other side towards the troughs. In another revolution, the mega blobs will interchange and push back the continents back to form a supercontinents. So we have galactic revolution is like 200 million years. So two of those cycles will be 400 million years, and we have a supercontinent cycle around 400 million years. So two collect revolutions, 200 million years for 200 million years, equal to one supercontinent cycle is 425 million years. So